Okay, so still at this screen here, I think it's actually really important to kind of realize what you are building and where it is early on, okay? And when you hit, when you hit, if I can find it, run, okay, and I have a device connected over here, what it's going to be doing is actually, it will build up a product for us, okay? It's making the basics.app. What a convenient little file extension there, .app for application, okay? And this is a file that you can go find, okay? So you can right click on this guy and go show and finder, okay? And it is going to put you in this folder called debug iPhone OS, all right? This file right here you can kind of ignore. This is your application, all right? And if you look at it in icon mode, it's just got this like X through it, just kind of, I guess it's indicating you can't just double click and run it. But we are going to take a very similar application if we were ready to submit it to Apple and zip it up and send it on our way, all right? But part of the key here is finding it, okay? So when you do have a final product to build, you're going to go right here to products, and inside of here is going to be another folder called release, all right, and then dash iPhone OS or whatever it is. And that is the file that you're going to zip up. So just pretend we've already built it, and all you'd have to do is go and then just over here to compress, zip it up, and there's a few different ways that you can send your application to Apple. I usually use Application Loader, and that is a separate utility from Xcode. You could just, I believe it is in your, well, let's see, options. Let me find out where exactly that is at. Okay, it's in your utilities folder. And of course, you could just search for Application Loader and find it too. But that is a very simple application that does exactly this. You're going to go over here to New, File New, and you might have just noticed it said Reviewing Applications. Well, it couldn't find any. That just means that in iTunes Connect, I didn't go and specifically say, hey, I'm creating a new application and fill in all the information, you know, name, the metadata, all that stuff, like screen grabs and stuff like that. After you do all that, it's going to say, are you ready to upload your binary? Your binary is your application. You're going to say yes, and then, I don't know, wait 5 minutes, try Application Loader again, and at that point, it should just show you that specific app that you said that you're going to upload, and say version 1 or whatever, and then you're going to go and click out your product. We'll talk about this again, but you know, I know that there's people that are like me that kind of get ahead of the tutorial or get ahead of the book, whatever it is that you're going through, and are like, I'm done already, I finished, you know, pencils down, and they're ready to upload their application. So I just think the key thing to remember there is that this is a quick and easy way to do it. If you, again, looking for your product, go over here to Show Finder. You don't want the debug one, you want the release one. And we will get into the kind of more nitty gritty than that, because there's a lot of other things that we do need to talk about. One of them is code signing the application and things like that. But if you feel like you've already got a handle on that, then more power to you. And just that's where your stuff's at. Okay, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else appropriate to talk about now that has to do with that. Well, things that you would run into problems that are just kind of basic is make sure that if you told Apple that you're going to be uploading version 1.0, make sure that this number right here says 1.0. They are okay now. They weren't before with an iPad application having not having a portrait and landscape image, and you don't actually have to support all 4 orientations. You might find some information out there on the internet that says you do. That's usually old information. They aren't going to bust your whatever about that anymore. But back when, I'm sure you guys might remember that back when the iPad originally came out, they had this big kind of advertising campaign where they were showing the iPad in all different orientations. It was kind of like, you don't have to worry about how you're holding it. Well, now it's okay. They don't mind if just you only support one orientation. So don't freak out if you don't want to make a landscape mode for your pinball game. It'll get approved if it's a decent app, regardless of the orientation you support. And then I'm trying to think if there's some other things that are just kind of basic early on we should talk about that you want to be aware of. No. think so. Well, oh, this deployment target, if you feel like you're not supporting anything that is absolutely necessary for the latest version, you could always knock that down to like 4.0. And then you should notice, no, I guess that doesn't change anything over there. Okay, so, but note that that's an option as well. And you do want to make sure that you have your icons matching the large images that you show that you upload to Apple. So when you do create an application, they're going to ask you for a 512 by 512 image. So it's like a super large icon file. And that's something that you upload to them. You don't have to include it in your resources with your actual application, but that image has to match your app icon. So that too is something that can get you rejected that people kind of don't know about early on. So like when I made my most recent pinball game, one of the things I did right away was I made the that 512 by 512 artwork, and then I just shrunk that down to, I guess it was 72 by 72 for my application icon. So I already knew that I had those things done and they matched up, so I wasn't going to waste a week waiting for my app to get rejected and then, have to match those two up. So, all right.